Nah, it's fine. We've been live for a minute anyway, so there's no point in doing it.
Well, my recording's all fucked up anyway on my side, so have fun with that.
Welcome back to the Hammered podcast. Where everything is scuffed regardless of what we want to do.
Do you remember? Oh, Jesus, what was it? It was that... There's this image that sticks in my mind, and it's one of my favorite things of all time, and it's an image of... I think it's Keemstar, FaZe Banks, and then two other guys sitting on a couch.
Okay.
And they're all just sitting there. Like, they're doing a podcast, but they're all sitting there. And, like, they're all just sitting there, heads in their hands. Like, they just saw
really
something
depressed.
horrible. Yeah, it's the funniest image on the internet. It's so good.
It's a whole bunch of clouded dudes, and they're just sitting there going, oh, fa.
Yeah. It's like they just got the news that, like, G Fuel went under, and now they're all going to go broke forever. Such a shame.
FaZe Clan just lost everything. What do we do? What do we do?
No.
Oh, man. I'm trying to pull... Apple Podcasts has been really, really finicky with me this morning. The app itself will not load. There we go. Wait. No, don't play. Don't play. I don't want you to play the podcast. Just go to the podcast description.
No.
You piece of garbage.
No play. Only listen.
Yes. We have more funny things that people left in
Don't
reviews.
take, only throw.
We have that one-star review from Affy. That's really important.
Well, so there was one. Actually, we can do that one right now. Affy made a joke about leaving a one-star review on the last episode, but there was one on the same day that was also given a one-star rating, and then, like 2 days ago, I just checked, it's back up to 5 stars. So, we can read that one. What does it say? And keep in mind, when this was originally written, it was a 1-star review. Just keep that in mind, right? And then it went back to 5. Legit, this is one of the best Siege podcasts I've ever seen. I really like the more laid-back attitude, and Shatter and Jacob make a great host team. Also, if you don't want to be washed over by a sea of memes, skip to at least the 10-minute mark. Yes, this is the guy that said BDS takes it. They didn't, I know. This is a 1-star review. Is it, or was it a 1-star because we didn't actually start any meaningful content until 10 minutes into the recording? Is that what the only
Honestly,
downside
they
is?
probably just fat-fingered it.
They probably
that's a
did.
fat
It probably
finger.
wasn't crazy.
That's...
Oh, wait, no. Oh, there's more. Please read the entire Communist Manifesto. Whoa, it's great. Almost as good as this podcast. God damn it. I wasn't able to find the whole Communist Manifesto. That was an Intero joke, yeah. But I wasn't able to find the whole thing, and by the time I did,
if
the
not
joke
Intero
ran its
himself.
course. Yes. I asked him if he'd read it. He said no. I was thoroughly disappointed.
He doesn't even read theory.
He doesn't know where he's from or what he's about.
How can you be one of the figureheads of communism? Like, it's like Lenin, Marx, Trotsky, Stalin, Mao Zedong, Ho Chi Minh, and Parker Mackay, right?
Yeah.
Right. We can all agree on that. Yeah.
You can make like a Last Supper painting, like Jesus and his 12 disciples, but you could put all of the leaders of communism right there, and Parker's over on one side.
Yeah, like, Parker's, I don't know. Let's call him Saul. No, Saul wasn't a disciple. Saul was a
would he be the Judas of the group?
Peter. No. The Judas of the group would be, I don't know, like Elon Musk or something.
That's topical.
I
don't know. I'm trying to dive back into Bible theory, and I'm failing.
Do you want me to go get my Bible? Hold on.
No, mine's right back behind me on my bed. My dad's a pastor, and my mom's a professor at a seminary, so it's you can imagine what kind of household I've grown up in for the past 21 years.
Don't think I've ever owned a Bible.
Really?
Helbee,
it's not really not really Christian here in French
Helbee, the
Canada.
most powerful swear in your language is literally the front part of a church.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. How? You know why? Because that was a direct fuck you to the church who abused people more than usual for the time back in the 50s, 60s.
Christ.
That was a big fuck you. That's why people use these swear word for church words. It's just like, fuck you, church. We're not going to listen to you. Go eat a dick. So there's not a lot of religious culture in French Canada.
The only thing you guys worship up there is oh God, what's it? Celine Dion, I think.
Celine.
Celine.
Yes.
Yeah,
I guess.
the greatest cultural export of French Canada. It's Celine Dion, poutine, and
Aki, probably.
and what?
NL from the Ubisoft dev team is
No.
probably the other best export.
I mean, his dog is better, but he's okay.
His dog is incredible. I agree, but his dog didn't buy me poutine in Montreal.
That's fair.
So the one that has control over the wallet and can flex Ubisoft money is the one that I'm more interested in.
That's, honestly, that's probably fair.
I don't want to make it seem like I'm only into Ubisoft developers for their money, but hey,
He's
guess
only
what?
into
It's my
Ubisoft
podcast.
developers for money.
Okay, what are we on? Is this what freaking episode number is this? I forget.
I think we made it to 8.
Do we make it to 8?
Yeah, we've been doing
Hey,
this for like 2 months.
I'm almost happy 2 months. It'll be 2 months next month, or sorry, next month, next week, which would be the start of the 3rd month. I'm tired. Sorry, I don't have the capacity to function like a proper adult today, so I'm going to require Helbee to kind of replace me while I figure out how to stay awake for the next 2 hours.
What did you do last night?
So, it was Mother's Day, and we've always had a thing of going out and getting ice cream for Mother's Day, so I eat a whole bunch of that, then eat dinner, and then fall asleep at like 9 p.m., where I would usually fall asleep at like 1 or 2 in the morning. So I wake up, it's already midnight. I was severely sleep deprived, but I get up, I play like 2 hours of ranked, and then I do a little bit of work for the Okami team that is now in Australia and New Zealand as of a couple hours ago. So the North American team, Okami, that was in Challenger League, Candor has worked on some additional branding to also help out the TBD team that's in ANZ, that's in the Six Masters. They were the former Mindfreak team before Mindfreak dropped them. And I'm going to be doing some social work to kind of help them out because it's all volunteer effort. We're working in different time zones, stuff like that. So I do a little bit of work for that, fall asleep, and then I realize I've made a couple of major misspellings in one of the announcement posts. So I get back up, do the fix, and then by that point, it's already by the time we were going to reveal the new team in Australia anyway. So I stayed up through the announcement and about a half hour after that, just reading through comments. And then by that point, I had space for about 3 hours of sleep before this podcast started. So I am not here right now.
That is a messed up sleep schedule.
Yeah. Yes, very much. Yeah.
I went to bed at 2 and then I woke up at 10.
See, that's what I usually do. Actually, if I go to sleep at 2, I'm usually...
I really am a boomer.
I'm up by about 11.
Yeah, Helbee goes to bed at like
at 2.
10 and gets up at 6.
Well, not anymore.
During the winter, I was going to bed at like 8, waking up at like 4 or 5, starting to work then.
Fuck.
Yeah,
well, you're on a European schedule.
Yeah,
so.
I was on a European schedule, but...
How's the transition off of that been, by the way? For those who don't know, Helbee, former coach of Team Secret, lives in Canada, but Team Secret was based in Europe.
Wait.
There you don't duck out of frame. There it is. Hey.
There you go.
Yeah, there's the eye.
Yeah. I thought you were ducking out to avoid being like, nope, I'm not affiliated with this guy tomorrow. Oh, hey, check out the logo.
Well, I guess there's the box in the back here, too.
Yeah, okay.
Old box.
Yeah.
But so the transition was I decided to do that at some point because I realized I was wasting a lot of time just like having a shit sleep schedule and being messed up all the time.
Right.
So I did it slowly. Like I didn't do like, okay, tomorrow I'm waking up at 4 a.m. It's going to be great. It's like, well, I knew around what time I was waking up and I was just like removing half an hour, waking up half an hour earlier every day and like slowly up until the point that it went super well.
So even at the point where you like fully made the transition over, it wasn't even like it was too difficult to switch back. Okay.
No. Well, it's mostly like the fact that it's regular right now is just when I go to bed, I fall asleep in 15 minutes and I just wake up without like an alarm clock the next morning at the time I'm supposed to wake up, and that's pretty much it. And honestly, it's been great. It's been great. I wouldn't have thought that having discipline with my sleep schedule as a teenager would have been great, but holy shit, I should have done it.
Oh my god, it's the best, right? I go to bed. I go to bed at 2. I get
it's
up
like
at...
boomer. It's like a boomer move, but like maybe the boomers are onto something.
I mean, if it works for you, who's going to criticize?
I go to bed at like 1 or 2. I get up at like 7-ish, and it's like, great.
Like it's just like being consistent with it. That's the secret. It doesn't matter if you want to go to bed at 5 a.m. and wake up like at 2 p.m. It's just as long as you're consistent with it. It's like, it's great. It's great. like you wake up energized. You don't have like energy drop during the day. It's fucking fantastic. I'm never coming back to that, to like what I was doing before, which is just like whatever time I wake up and whatever time I go to bed.
I think that's what I'm still living on right now, but that's because I force myself to only accept shifts at my job that are like closing store shifts, which means I can wake up, have a good 4 hours before I have to go to work, still find time to nap in between when I wake up and when I have to go to work, and then go to work. Like that's been the loop for a long time now.
Well, I mean, like I'm 26, and this is the first year that I started to do that. So you still got a few years to like mess it up if you want to catch up to my level.
That's fair.
No, definitely. You still have plenty of time ahead of you to absolutely fucking ruin
I have my
your
fair
sleep.
share of like messed up schedule.
I was say I can completely trash my own routine. Which if I'm going to be doing stuff
Jacob.
for an Australia New Zealand team that plays matches at 5 a.m. my time, then I'm definitely going to be doing that occasionally.
So when I was your age, which is like a fucking awful thing to say because I'm 24.
Yeah, that awkward moment when I guess is the oldest person in the room. I know, right, Chowder? Right, you old mother. Sorry, that's mean.
I'm sorry. Apologies, but fuck you. So so when I was like 19, 20-ish, I had severe insomnia.
Ooh.
To the point where like I once went to the hospital because I had been up for 65 hours and I needed something to knock me out.
What the heck?
Like I'm just sitting there. Like I'm literally sitting there just like
Boing.
shaking. And they're like, what's wrong? And I'm like, I haven't slept in 3 days. And they're like, is that normal? No! I want to go to bed!
Jesus.
They just like give me
messed
like
up.
hardcore sleeping pills and I just fucking fall asleep. Like they're like, we're not
Dude.
even just gonna have you sleep in the hospital. Just you're gonna take these in the hospital. Someone's gonna drive you home. You're gonna just right. But so there was a point in my life where I would go to bed at 7 a.m. and wake up at 6 p.m.
What? That
And
definitely doesn't seem natural. So yeah. What?
yeah, it was
What?
real fucking weird.
But yeah. But I mean, to me, it was also like making some good habits. Like when I go to bed, if like half an hour into like trying to sleep, I'm not sleeping, I'll just like stand up, go do something, like go for a walk, get out of the bed, because
Yeah.
like bed is for sleeping. That's why right now, 15 minutes, I'm asleep. Like it's not even like a chore. It's not even hard. It's just like 15 minutes, I'm asleep, knocked out until the next morning.
There
Like
are
I don't watch my cell phone. I don't do anything. If like I don't sleep well at night, I just stand up and go do something for a few hours until I really tired. So you know.
You have any idea how tempting it is right in the middle of me doing work at my triple monitor workstation to just look right behind me and go,
Yeah.
Oh,
But, like,
baby,
it's-
you look so good.
It's discipline. It's discipline, and
Yeah,
it's
for sure, for
it's,
sure.
It's free. It's freeing, like to a big degree. So
I go into my room for 2 reasons, which is, well, 3 reasons. To get dressed, to
that a
turn on
bottle
air
opener?
conditioning, and to, what?
is that a bottle opener you're holding?
Yes?
Okay.
It's something to hold. Calm down, all right? It's
Only
this or the
him
knife, all
could
right?
make a
I mean, it's
bottle
the Hammer
opener look
podcast, so,
threatening
you
on a
know.
podcast, yeah.
Give me your fucking money. Actually,
You
wait,
getting
no.
drunk already,
This
son?
thing has a knife. Hold on. Give me your fucking money.
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus. Damn.
Yeah. You're
Hot
gonna-
damn.
No, but so basically one of the things that sleep scientists teach is you should really only ever use your bedroom for 2 or 3 things, which is getting dressed and going to bed. Like,
can
otherwise,
see why.
you shouldn't be in it because there's
Yeah.
this whole Pavlovian mental training of the second you enter your bedroom and hit the bed, your body goes, "Oh, I only sleep in here. Time to fucking sleep," and you're just conked out, right?
Well, it's
That's-
also when you can't find sleep, it's just because you're thinking about like many thing, and it just don't stop, and you don't know how to stop it. So for me, it's like when that happened, like I said, it's 30 minutes, and I'm just thinking about shit. I just stand up, grab a piece of paper, grab a pen, fucking write everything down that's in my mind. Like it doesn't matter if it makes sense or no, just like write it down, and then I'm like, all right, well, it's there, so you know, it's out of my mind now. Just go back to sleep, and usually that works.
When you were doing that, you were trying to work on European time, so I'm going to assume the majority of any teamwork that you would have had to have worked on would have been like later in the day, because I know North America does scrims at ungodly hours, like anywhere
11.
from 2 p.m. all the way to 2 a.m. or something, like my time. So that's midnight Eastern.
Well,
Was that
for the most part in EU, it's scheduled. Usually there's like, for most team, 2 slots, which is like the afternoon slot, which is like 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. between 1 and 3 p.m. start of a scrim. And there's the 7-8 p.m. start of a scrim. So for me, that's morning 8 a.m. and afternoon 1-2 p.m. So
Got it.
Usually it was fine. It's not like anything crazy.
that's
And,
also
like,
something that
quite
you
honestly,
could stomach because
it just made my life normal for like the time zone I live in. So I was starting to work in the morning, I was working the afternoon, and by 4 or 5 p.m. it was over, and I could like go eat like dinner with my parents or whatever.
And this really works for you because you happen to live in the East Coast time zone. If you were living anywhere else, like just in NA, if you were in California, you wouldn't be able to make this kind of thing work because there's 3 additional hours to just slap on there and be like, "Hey, deal with this," right? Like
that becomes a 9-hour difference.
Oh, Jesus, yeah. And considering most of the people that, well, I mean, I guess technically most of the people that you would have worked with over the course of your secret tenure would have been in the UK, which is only a 5-hour time difference, which isn't really that noticeable, I think.
There's like usually there's 2 months during the year because we don't change time at the same time.
Right.
So there's also 2 months in a year where it's 4-hour difference with them instead of
easy then, yeah.
5. So like 4 hours was great. It was basically, doesn't
I mean,
change
honestly, just move to Newfoundland. It's only like a 3-hour time difference then.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, wait, is it in a whole other time zone? Like all the way out east?
So
They're 1 hour ahead.
Newfoundland is like way the fuck out there.
It is.
Right? Both in terms of time zone and in terms of culture. Newfies are horrifying beasts made of flesh and wiring that are designed to kill mainlanders. We do not speak of the Newfoundlands.
Except when we need to work with
Like a
people in the
fish.
EU.
They fish, yes, but they don't cook the fish. They just unhinge their jaws and just go down whole. It's horrifying.
You know way more about what'd you call them? Newfies?
Newfies, yeah.
How do you know so
Newfies.
much? Is there some weird intrinsic connection between Bostonians and Newfies that I was unaware of before? Now?
There's an intrinsic connection between people from Boston and people from Nova Scotia, but
that makes sense.
It's more the living in New England. You get the cultural sort of downchurn from Canada of what everyone in Canada thinks of everyone in Canada, and everyone in Canada is generally polite except for Newfoundlanders because Newfies are just fucking weird. Like I don't know what's in the water up there, but it's just like, you remember the town from Hills Have Eyes? Imagine if that was a province.
Are they kind of like the equivalent of the deep south in the US sort of idea? Like the deep south? But they did some really weird conversion therapy and stuck them all on an island?
No, they're not like overly conservative. They're just like viciously xenophobic of anyone who's not a Newfie.
That still sounds like conservative.
They just call people like mainlanders as a slur, right?
Okay, got it. So like gypsies.
Well,
Yeah, they're just fucking weird.
I guess, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, Canada's large, so they're like the farthest away from
They're like
everything else.
they're straight up near Greenland. I think the thin atmosphere is just pelting them with radiation.
It's only
and
a
causing their
3-hour
brains to
plane
melt.
ride to Reykjavik from where they... No, not Reykjavik. That's Iceland.
It's a 5-hour plane ride to Reykjavik from where I was. Actually, you don't actually fly into Reykjavik. You fly into Keflavik, and then you take a 45-minute bus ride to Reykjavik.
Reykjavik not have an airport?
Reykjavik does not have an airport. Keflavik has an airport.
Curious.
Well, Reykjavik
I
does
love-
have an airport. It's just like not an international airport.
You want to know? I kind of understand that review now about how to skip to the 10-minute mark to escape all the memes and all the BS because now...
Hey, we had a very interesting conversation on sleep habits, which is important. We did.
really important.
We did.
yeah, okay.
And now we're talking about airports in Iceland, which is very important.
Is there any chance for a Rainbow Six event in Reykjavik? Or sorry, Keflavik.
Holy shit.
That'd be cool.
That would have you.
That'd be cool.
I haven't been able to go out there myself.
Have you been to Reykjavik, Helbee?
No, but I want to.
Dude, you got it. It's so nice.
I have a friend who went.
I spent 3 days there. I didn't have an itinerary. I just walked around Reykjavik, and everyone there is so okay. So here's my Reykjavik story because it's really dumb and it's very chowdery. So I was walking, right? I'm in downtown, like the suburbs of Reykjavik. I'm just walking around, and I see this cat, and I'm just walking. I'm like, hey, it's a cute cat. And so he's doing the cat thing where he's, stopping, looking back at me, going, why don't you come pet me? And then I come up to pet him, and he's like, you asshole, you think you can pet me? And he walks off, right? So we keep doing that. We keep doing that. And eventually he goes under like this little fence and goes up to these stairs and sits on these stairs. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I mean, it's like 2 PM. Everyone's probably at work. I don't think anyone would give a shit if I hop this fence to pet this cat. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, like, am I going to commit trespassing on a foreign country to pet this cat? The answer, yeah. So I go to the fence and I go up and I notice the sign that says this area is secured by video cameras.
Oh boy.
And I go, huh, that's weird. And so I start looking around this fence, and this fucking cat jumped the fence of the British ambassador. So I'm sitting there.
Oops.
And my dumb ass almost got fucking SAS'd into a rendition site, going like, wow. What are you doing at the ambassador's house? Because I'm just trying to pet this cat, man. I just want to pet this cat. What are you doing at the ambassador's house? Answer the question. Are you ISIS? I just want to pet this cat. It's just...
Little did you know that cat's been luring people to hop that fence to pet him for the past 20 years, some odd years or something. It's not an actual cat.
It's great. Everything's great. Like, the food is fantastic. It's all very expensive, but...
Yeah.
It is expensive.
I mean, it's like the native food is dirt cheap, but if you want anything that's not like whale or puffin or shark, it's going to cost you.
Any really exotic sea. Yeah, that's the only thing I associated Iceland with, was just being way the heck out there and having really whack seafood.
I mean, to be honest, whale isn't bad. I had minke there. It's pretty good.
I haven't had whale.
I had minke whale sushi. It was very good. It would taste like tuna-y.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
So if we got exquisite food options all the time, is that enough of an allure for Ubisoft to finally put a siege event down in Reykjavik?
I don't know that Reykjavik has any like theater that's big enough to have a siege.
Right.
That's a good point. Yeah,
because there's only like three.
They wouldn't have
the entire island is 330,000 people, right?
I mean,
especially now that we fill stadium.
Well, yeah, we fill like half of the Rocket Stadium, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. What do we have? We didn't have like. That's not a full-size hockey arena comparative to most NHL arenas for the Invitational, and we had about half of it filled out, and the other back half of it just wasn't usable.
But it was sold out.
I mean, I guess it was, yeah. It wasn't sold out for... Like, 2019's Invitational did not look sold out, like, at all.
So,
like,
2019's Invitational was sold out on the last day.
But I think a lot of people wanted the fucking charm, too, so they just bought it for the charm and never showed up.
That's a fair point. I just remember looking at that event, because that was, like, probably... I don't know, I'd watched the whole Paris major, and then Rio, and then that one, and I'm like...
There was some empty seats on 2019. There was empty seats. There was a lot of space. You could probably go whatever you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't do any of that assigned seating stuff that they did at
but it was at 2019. There was a assigned spot for like VIPs and so on.
Yeah, Raleigh 2019. So the middle section, the middle seating section in 2019 was all reserved for VIP, and I never saw that fill up.
No, it was not.
Like, not once. I never saw that fill up.
There was a lot of places still for 2019.
But also, they just didn't check, like, badges in 2019.
Not too much.
Really? At all. So I just kind of hung out in the media and VIP section with my friends with my little pleb card. And I was just sitting there like, what?
Without having additional media privileges or anything? Just chilling, because why not?
I have a photo of me. There's a photo that I have, and I'm not going to post it, but it's... I was sitting behind Gohan as he was rage tweeting after he lost. So he's sitting there, he's just on his phone, fucking...
Really fucking pissed.
Nice calf play.
Nice calf play. Speaking of Siege, I guess we got to talk about that at some point, don't we?
We probably should, yeah.
Probably should. Helbee,
my question was, do we want to... Welcome to the Hammered League of Legends podcast, everybody.
I've never played League. This isn't happening.
Absolutely jack all about that I wouldn't be able to speak on.
All right. Helbee, I hear that you play Siege.
I do. Well, technically, I'm a professional Siege watcher, or a voyeurism. I used
you like to sit in the corner and watch.
Not anymore, but like my job was basically watching people play video game, you know. So hopefully I can keep doing that, but
damn, how'd you manage to pull that job?
Dude, it's, you know, took me a couple years as a player to understand the game, and then people trusted that I could watch the game properly, and I got a shot. That's a short story, really.
Is the thing that I made in the Go Live tweet about saying that you had the longest running tenure of any coach in Challenger League history? Any idea if that's actually true? Because I didn't bother to fact check it. I don't actually know. For one squad that's been, or like for one coach has been with the same squad, the same organization for the longest time. Like, first of all, there are no organizations in North American Challenger League, because that kind of rules that possibility out. So it had to have been Europe, and then being in there for, you know, a full year, 2 consecutive seasons. It's like you've spent a lot of time at the T2 level, but also having that big surprise run at Raleigh. Everyone's like, oh, hey, Team Secret is still a thing, so let's watch season 11 and see if they can claw their way back to PL, and then rip.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it was almost a year. I think we got relegated in April 2019 or May.
It would have been back end of season 9. It was Vitality, I think, right? No, wait.
So,
I think so.
May 9th, Leon said. Something like May, because the funny part is we got relegated, but we still were able to count as a Pro League team for the registration to access Vegas, which is why we were able to go.
Yeah.
Got it.
And
well, that and the leggings.
Everything followed. Maybe the leggings a little bit.
The leggings
but that was the only reason we were able to go to Vegas, and next thing you know, we won it. So I'm glad that was a clerical mistake here by ESL, but you know, one of the few mistakes I'm okay with.
Something where you could actually go overseas and compete for a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean that like when we got relegated, it was looking grim. Like,
yeah,
I think everyone was in the mindset that we were probably gonna just like get poached or disband or whatnot, but
just
being able to go to Vegas,
void,
like, well, that's the thing, right? Being able to go to Vegas makes you like, okay, well, we got relegated, it fucking sucks, but you know, what are we gonna do? And then you get relegated, so you don't really have anything to work towards, but then it's like, oh, well, we have Vegas actually, and then Vegas, we win, so hey, in like a month and a half, hey, we have Raleigh. So I think that's probably the reason that the team was able to survive that long, because it wasn't really not looking good when we got first relegated. I think everyone took it hard.
Slipping into a mindset of, oh, well, we got relegated, so clearly we have to just suck. You're able to go into something immediately rather than waiting for the next month-long CL season that will come in 5 months from when you get relegated, so you can't even like claw to get your spot back for a good long-ass time.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's exactly it, right? So, like, the next season was very far away, but at least we had Vegas and Raleigh in the middle to, like, keep us busy and keep us working and actually have goals to work with. Because when you have a season that's, like, 6 months in the future, it's like...
What the fuck is going to happen?
You know, right.
That's why I'm really happy that CL for NA at least is moving into that format, going alongside everything from both the US and Canadian League at the exact same time. Just as like, well, the downside is, do you want to play through a 9-month Challenger League season? But the upside is you have an opportunity to get into it if you went through qualifiers. You can get into a CL season at the middle of a season that way, and all of the stuff for the tier 2 overhaul I looked at and I went, yes, I might have a job again. This feels good. But
fuck you.
But like the season, the Challenger League season under ESL was just lackluster. There was it was crammed up in like barely a month.
I mean, the
format was just bad.
I also love Challenger League halfway through them telling you, oh yeah, by the way, we're just gonna wrap it up in like 3 weeks, so have fun with that. No, that was definitely.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure there's reason why it was like that, but
which season was that again? Was that 9?
That was literally this season.
Yeah.
Well, this one they told us, we knew it was going to be a month long because that's what it was for season 10.
Well, it was for the previous season. Yeah, it was the same format too. It's like you play the same team back to back. So
yeah, no,
you're having
you
a
play a best of 2, quote unquote.
Yeah. The games are unrelated, and like,
which,
you
by
can
the
play
way,
the same map.
I don't want to harp on that too much, but that's such a BS thing to do. I get why you do it. You do it because you're cramming everything into such a short space of time.
No, they do it because
about.
Of simplicity, because they don't want to have to switch people around. Because for all I know, they just didn't fucking care anymore. As far as
but from my perspective, dude, you have any? Okay, I was last day casting with Jesse J Chick. It was Playday 6. Joe and Shook Squad go to border 2 times in a freaking row, and they're playing each other twice in a row, so we have to call the same 2 teams on the same freaking map at the exact same position. I don't have any other talking points, and I just want death. Like,
I mean, that happened with the PL or the CL finals too. It was what was it? It was Diffuse Kids and Orglis.
Oh yeah, they went to Orglis and Diffuse went to Clubhouse twice, right?
They went to Clubhouse twice, but they swapped sides at least. But they still went to fucking Clubhouse twice.
But like, my main problem too is like the fact that you play the same team twice means if you have like a bad day, there's just absolutely no way you can catch up with them.
Yeah, and I mean, also,
you're not playing them
best
again.
of ones
so like,
fucking suck.
That's what happened with us. Like, we had 2 bad games during our first Challenger League season, and the 2 first games we played were against Force and BDS. Which,
the 2 guys that would win, right?
They were always like there was 4 teams that would like compete for top 4. It was Force, BDS, Secret, and Orgles. And our 2 first game, we had a rough patch. Like, everything was going well, but then like for 2 weeks, like, it was rough. Like, something was just not working. We had to figure it out, but like, it just happened sometimes. It was unlucky timing. And it was against Force and BDS. And since you play all of their game in the same day, then it was impossible to catch up with them, because even if we win everything else, they would probably win everything else. So it was only like, our chances to make it to Pro League was just, well, hopefully BDS or Force massively fucked up against like teams they should absolutely have no trouble winning. That was just it. So like, after 2 games, our season was basically over.
Yeah, because everyone forgets in a standard best of 1 from a PL perspective, you play that one team, that one play day, and then if you have a really good game, you win, sweet, move on to the next thing. You lose a game, no real skin off your back, but it's one game on one day. If you have a full-on, straight-up bad day in a CL format, then all of a sudden you can lose 2, which means you lose out on 6 points and not just 3. So...
Yeah. And against the same team, so you can't really catch up. You can't be like, oh yeah, so like in 2 weeks we're just gonna play them again, and like we're gonna be ready, and like, let's go.
Of course not.
So,
because you're gonna fall into that same
like,
trap again. If you lose the first game, you'll probably, like, the team that you play will still have momentum from that first win. They can carry that into the next map. They'll find a way to still, clean your clock every time. And the bans themselves for maps, the map that you play isn't immediately auto banned. So there were times leading up to that double border play day for us where we would look at the order phase. We'd be like, okay, so this team played Coastline first, so we're kind of expecting them to take Coastline off the map quick because they lost it. They don't want to play it again. No, it'll go up to like the 5th or 6th ban before that thing finally gets taken down. And I'm like, were you seriously thinking about going back to that one? Because you just got 7-2'd on Coast last game. Do you really want to go back to this stupid map again?
Yeah, but Yeah, but we can beat them on Coast. It was just a bad map. We'll beat them. We'll beat them on Coast.
We can sort out all of our problems and find a way to get back in.
We can sort out all of our problems directly in the middle of the fucking ban phase. That's definitely.
We already know
something
how to
that happens.
improvise, adapt, and overcome. So we're gonna do it on map 2 and just do the same thing.
Yeah, we tried to avoid that.
Yeah, and also
playing the same map twice.
Yeah. And also, fuck best of ones. Like, I know I said that earlier, but it is best of ones is literally the worst system in esports. I would put it up there with, like, there is one good system, and it's Swiss. Just use Swiss.
I'm inclined to agree.
Vegas was great. Vegas
it's not hard.
Was
just use Swiss.
Vegas was phenomenal.
Use Swiss or use best of threes. Or don't run a fucking tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I
agreed.
Yeah, I don't have a.
I think Vegas was probably the best
was.
minor to, like, that everyone watched. Like, Vegas was really entertaining.
Vegas was great.
It was good
because
like it was fun. You like the thing with the minor. I'm gonna rant a bit. The thing with the minor is it's a one. Like, we don't have many tournaments in Rainbow Six like in a yearly basis.
Right.
Where there's chance to see like international team play against each other. That was the one tournament where we've seen the most international games. You've seen someone from APAC, someone from NA play against each other when they never fucking do. That was great. And then you see people playing like all over the place. It was fantastic.
I loved it. And that's just a tournament like full on proof of that system just working. Like outright. And it was really nice to look at a format and go, well, there are so many other games happening off stream that we can't like possibly like plan for. Yeah. Right? And what they did on broadcast, and this is probably the reason why I liked the Allied Minor so much, was they have one game cast on the mainstream for the entirety of the Swiss stage, but then what they do is they cut back to the Desk Coast and they run through all of the other games that you couldn't see.
They were recorded, the games too.
No, but they were, and they were run through like it was ESPN Sports Center the whole time, right? Running through highlight reels about how it went, and I'm sitting there going, I must be watching like ESPN College Game Day or something. Like, it is so weird to me to see like just a full-on day of matches I didn't have a chance of going back and looking at, but to have it all culminate on that one Friday and see all these highlight reels just flying by, like from it was nuts. I loved it.
It was great.
That was the moment I want more. I want more Swiss.
Yeah,
I just want more Swiss.
I do want more Swiss too, but also like the organizer at the Allied Minor, and like probably I'm biased because I won the whole thing. So generally speaking, people are more.
So completely disregard what you're about to say, but anyway, go ahead.
No, like the admins were great. They were listening. We had questions. They were like, okay, like I'm busy right now, but like as soon as I can, I'm gonna find the answer. And they would come back to you and like give you the answer like really quickly.
Heck yeah!
So it's not something that I've been used to in other lands like majors and other minors. So that was great. It's also like they were completely unfamiliar with Rainbow Six. So like early on, there was some like really cringy things like with the map ban and so on.
Yeah,
but like we just told them like, yeah, this might be a little bit cringy.
I love those map bans. That was really fun. Where like you would just ban like one at a time. That was fun.
It was like
that was
semi fun. Like
yeah, they do that in CS, right? Sometimes
I don't know, but like it was fun just because Loti.
Well, no, hold on. The Allied Minor was different because they would do one map ban. The stage host Lottie would then say would cut to the casters. Both casters would give an opinion. She was, but both casters would say something about that particular map ban. Then they would cut back to Lottie. She'd say, "What do you ban this map? Okay, they banned this map. Casters, what do you think?" And they would do that like all of the semifinals and grand final. I was just sitting there going,
"So that was too much." But like the thing is,
we don't need this.
It was new, and that's good.
The thing is, they were not familiar with Rainbow Six, and like by the end of the tournament, they cut that crap. Like ban were just streamlined, and like they listen, they adapt, and that like the whole organization and like accessibility to PC and just everything was great from that line. Like, it was great.
Well, I mean,
I did a series of things on the subreddit. I think what do they call them? daily posts. It was a non-toxic look at the Vegas Miner day, insert day number here, and for like 3 days straight. And I did that because everyone had been talking about there were two big things that people noticed. The first match broadcast on the first day of the Allied Minor, they didn't turn their Uplay overlay off, so they were catching friend requests once they found out what the observer's name was. So that was
love that was
the
great.
entire first game.
That
you
was
just see
so
friend requests in
good.
the top left going, why are these showing up on a minor broadcast on the main channel? What is happening? But the other thing was they had a caster on that was out of his element, and everyone was kind of ragging on him. So I made these posts about like the things that I really liked, that like team ratings, the things that I didn't really like, and the things I kind of thought were cringe. And I didn't word it in a way that was meant to be antagonistic, and it got some of the guys from Allied to literally respond and comment on that Reddit thread and go, "Hey, thank you for the feedback. We'll try to make some adjustments." And I'm sitting here going, "Bro, this is great. Wait. Is this real life? I love what I'm seeing right now. This is so cool."
It was fantastic. And the dream hacks for the most parts were really underwhelming and like messy.
Are they really?
OG, oh yeah, it's bad.
Hold on. I know OGA was a mess for reasons,
OGA was
but,
all right. No, there was some like technical issue mess with like hardware, like
that was
headset
mostly
not
what I
working
meant,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, it was great. OGA, but like dream hacks were just such a fucking mess, dude.
From our perspective as viewers, we probably wouldn't be able to speak to if they were like clunky or not. Other than fire alarms taking people out of the building for periods of time, and you had to pause the broadcast.
Was that in Valencia? I think that was Valencia, right?
That was Valencia. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly,
you hear the alarm going on behind Flynn, and Flynn has to find a way to go, "Well, we have this to cut to, and we've never cut away from this for a fire alarm before. This is interesting." Just, you can hear him deer in the headlights, even though you can't see his face as that unravels on stream. It was the funniest shit. God.
Yeah, well, it's just organization-wise. Like, dream hacks are more of a like LAN for like there's multiple competition. There's a lot of like
dream
casual,
hack.
not casual, but community, I guess, tournament. Like
sure,
a lot of like BYOC, and I think at that point it's just Rainbow Six was bigger than that. It was like no longer suitable for DreamHack.
DreamHack is good
it was
for
weird.
Smaller games and like fighting games. So when I went to DreamHack Winter, the main stage was like there was a lot of fighting games going on. It was the Mortal Kombat, like basically Mortal Kombat tournament. CL stuff. There was some StarCraft.
Usually Counter-Strike was getting like
CS.
way more attention than Rainbow Six, and it showed.
DreamHack Masters, we get so much
like
viewership.
For the most part, the problem we had is just like the schedules were never like known way ahead. So you just like were laying around just being like, well, what the fuck do I do? Like, I don't have anything to do. I don't know when's my next game. And well, I don't have access to a PC because DreamHack doesn't bring enough PC for all the teams to be like to have access to one all the time. So you're just like waiting around doing like, well, I can't go back home because they want me to stay here in case I need to play a game, but I don't know where I'm going to play the game. I don't know against who. So it was a mess. It was a big mess. And like for Montreal, which is like the one I have the most experience with because it's the one I went to.
Right.
Like our schedule were messed up to the point where we played like on a Friday, we played the last game of the day, which means that with the delays, because obviously there were delays, it meant we ended the game at around 11 p.m., 12 p.m.
And you're there for like an entire day already.
Yeah.
Just waiting for that match to start in your group. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe not that bad for the first day because we knew when was the first game, but like,
okay.
Still, like the fact that the problem's not there. It's and late. It's fine. We're gonna go like eat dinner and so on. But hey, tournament organizer says, well, it's probably a good idea that you guys play the next game in the morning, first thing. So we had to wake up at 6 a.m. and be there at 8 a.m. to play our game at like 9, 10. And after that, they were like, well, you know what? You know what would like really fuck you up? To play the last game of the day again. That would be really good. So that we ended up playing the last game again. So you have like a small, like a very like everyone's
on
like
the
sleep
same
deprived.
Day?
Yes.
So you play at 9 and then you play at like Those things go on fucking forever. So like 7 or 8. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
And,
What the
and like
heck?
they want us to stay around because I don't know, fucking reasons. And we don't have access to PCs, so we just chill around and like.
Wait, hold on. They didn't let you get. You're in a fucking dream hack.
There was not enough PCs, so they had to put time slots for the teams to have access to PCs. So like in the 9 hours, we might have had access to PC for like, I don't know, 3-4 hours max.
I'm sorry. Excuse me.
And like there's no really restaurant around the stadium, so like the food in there was just disgusting, like grease.
Dream hack. The largest lands in the world.
Yeah.
Dream hack.
Yeah, it was shit.
Didn't have enough PCs.
My experience was not good.
Isn't it the largest LAN event by way of people bringing their own PCs to begin with? I am uninitiated. I've never been to a DreamHack, but isn't the whole allure of that you bring your own setup?
If I am a DreamHack organizer, do you know what I do?
What do you do? Other than make sure the internet is top
I send
notch.
out an email that says, "Hi, we have a Siege tournament going on. And if you want to hang out with some Siege players and maybe watch them do some scrims, they'd love to use your computer."
Well, like, we didn't even have access to fucking water bottles, so. Like, that's just the basic shit. Like, literally, my experience at DreamHack Montreal was running around like an idiot with fucking open cups trying to get water from water fountain to bring to the players.
What?
Bro.
I am not kidding.
Oh, my word.
Like,
this is...
It was shit.
Hold on.
We're never going to have DreamHack events again.
Hold on.
There was no money, no thought.
It was
so when
Helbee
I say, like...
and the team secret CEO fucking...
Yes. Bringing water to the fucking players.
Water back and forth. To like
oh my god.
Oh no. Fucked up when you have an esports CEO as your literal water boy.
Yeah, I was like that was my DreamHack experience, and like, so when you go to Vegas and like OGA, you're like, oh my god, this is mind blowing.
When you go to Vegas and they're like, hey, here's the food, here's the water, you guys PCs are over there. Ask us if you have any questions. Okay, bye, see ya. And you're just like, oh my god, what?
And like, there's LAN events. There's LAN events. You ask questions to admin. They're like, I don't know, I don't have time.
I legitimately do not have time for your dumb questions. Stop talking to me.
It's like, fuck me, dude.
When's the ban phase? How should I know? I only run this tournament. Like, are you kidding me?
So, DreamHack. Maybe I just like didn't have a good one experience, but as far as I know, there's not a lot of people who like DreamHack as a tournament compared to like other quality of LAN we had.
As someone who's been to a lot of LANs, then I think you have gone considerably farther at Allied and at Raleigh, and no one really remembers what. Well, and Paris, yeah, but in like the span of the past year, more specifically, you guys have still done OGA, even though it was an 0-2 loss. Like, I mean, even though, no chance to come back in like a double elimination bracket or something for the teams that play in the semis, or the quarters. That's a whole other like format discussion. But how was like that? I mean, other than flying to Croatia, which I know we have one professional player in Siege who's from Croatia, so it's kind of like
Croatia as a place is really nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It was my first time in well, it's not exactly the Mediterranean Sea there. It's what's it called?
I don't remember where that is.
Adriatic Sea.
Yeah,
it's Adriatic Sea.
Yeah.
So, it's my first time around there. It was like beautiful. Like, I think it was in December too. So for me, December is like -15, and there was like +10, +15. So it was great. It was a nice break from the cold.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It was like the weather was nice. The place was nice. The LAN events was good too because it was in a hotel, the Blue Resort some
hotel suite
something. Mm-hmm. And the way they set it up is they had like mini conference room, and all the conference room were reserved for one team. So every team had their own like conference room with PC set up to play with. Ooh. And that room was accessible to you 24/7 at all time, and only you could go there if you locked the door and like other team respect you. And
that was a thing. Even if you got knocked out in the first round, you still had access to it for like the next 2 days.
Yeah. So like we didn't just like stay around and do nothing. It was like we still like had plenty of space for team talk, to try some stuff, play the games, and just hang out. It was a really good organization in that regard. That was the first LAN where we had like PCs this accessible, and it was great. It was great. Hopefully in other future LAN event they can like get an extra room in hotels. Like let's say a major, right? You get the hotel, you get an extra room, and in that room you place PC for the players and teams. That would be, because like that's what Dota does really often, and that's probably the better way to do it. It might be some extra cost. I don't know like the details of like what, but I really like this accessibility to PCs. That was really great.
Yeah. And then
especially after getting knocked out at one point, you're like, well, we gotta do.
Right.
We like something has to keep us occupied for like the next couple of days, while we just wait for something to happen here. But.
Like the physical event space itself was also gorgeous. I remember I saw photos that Helbee and his girlfriend Shattered constantly posted, just of like these gorgeous photos of these romantic dinners the two of them were having on their balconies. It was fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So like we were like the hotel was a 5 minutes walk to the Adriatic. So there was like a beach.
Nice.
Yeah, there was a beach, and it was good.
Yeah, and they just did like after the event, everyone just went to the beach and hung out. Yeah,
it was a bit cold to swim, but you know, it was beautiful.
Yeah,
like I would go. I really want to go back there. Like it's one of the few places I've been that like I'm like, yes, I want to go back.
Like one of those land cities where you're like, well, they could have just gone here because it was cheap, but no, it, like, looks and feels like really, really cool.
You know,
like,
I hated every second of Raleigh in the summer. Like I was
never about to say, that's like
I'm never going there.
The U.S. South, like
fuck that.
August, no,
like never.
Excuse me. How dare you insult the greatest city in America? Have you seen the photos of the Patriots in Raleigh? Okay. Have you seen those photos?
Take bazookas into Subway shops?
He took a bazooka into Subway. That is a champion. That is a winner.
I am not made for the. I am not made for the heat of Raleigh, because like crossing the street.
Oh my god!
Literally crossing the street and having your back completely wet. It's like no, that's not a life for me.
Okay. So at Raleigh, I was one of the people who was helping cosplayers get ready because they're all my friends. So I'm sitting there and I walk into the hotel room and they have all of their guns splayed out over the bed, and some of them are remaking the orange tips on their guns because they spray paint them black for photo shoots. So basically there's just like literally like a Waco style arsenal on one of the beds. There's body armor hanging in the closet. I'm just sitting there and I'm just like,
like without context, if some poor just worker walks in, doesn't understand what's going on, all of a sudden. Oh my god. The worst though was there wasn't a space for the cosplayers to change
in the event center. So that walk that you had to do, Helbee, they did that in 50 pounds of gear.
Nice. It's like it's not even that it was far. Like the hotel was just across the street from the convention center.
It was literally like a 2 minute, like literally 2 minutes. Right?
That place sucks so much that it was enough for me to like be completely sweaty just crossing the street. I hated everything about it.
Right? The lion cosplayer. I just saw him once. Open his leg, sweat fall out, close the leg.
Oh my god, no,
Because he's in a lion suit, right?
Oh god.
So he's completely taped shut. And it's just fucking poor Chinas, dude. Oh my god.
Oh no.
But it's just...
Wait,
hold on. There was an underground exit to the hotel?
I think
Wait, what?
Yeah, there was an underground that we could use, but like when the event actually started and people could access the venue, they closed it.
Oh fuck!
Oh come on!
You kidding me?
But yeah, so like for the first week, you know, when the group stage and all, we could like go from there, and it was fully AC access and so on. It was great.
So like the group stage for Raleigh was great, and then the playoff showed up, and you're like, fuck this.
Well, yeah, that was the one good thing about Raleigh. Like the players area was fantastic. It was great. It was good. Like there was like very large spaces, computers, access, good food. That part was good.
I mean, great food, honestly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You really can't beat Southern food.
It was good. It was really good.
Yeah.
But still, if I had to rank every place I've been,
down there.
if I had to rank every place I've been, Raleigh would probably be last.
Yeah. Everything
is
was
Raleigh
good,
one of those situations where it was just kind of ESL Poland going for whatever the cheapest option available was for an arena that had enough capacity to fit a couple thousand people in it?
Well, I think what happened is Ubisoft made like a, I don't know how you say that in English, but like offer. Like we're looking for a place to like host a LAN, and the NC
Ubisoft made a bid.
Carolina.
North Carolina.
Okay, yeah.
And North Carolina probably bid the cheapest then. That's what I think. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, the other thing is that there is North Carolina offices of Rainbow Six. Like,
that would have helped. Yeah, because
so
they would use their own NC crew to go do that.
Red Storm and a lot of Ubisoft's NA support, like the physical like support staff. So the customer service reps, community reps. So a lot of the people like Ubi Nodi and Jenny, those guys, they're all in North Carolina, right? So where EMEA is in, what is it, Newcastle upon Tyne? Or is that where Shakespeare's from? Somewhere. One of those fucking awful European names, right?
Look, man, I've heard Newcastle's a good place, but I've never been there, so I'm sure Leon can correct me like in chat later at some point. But
whatever.
Go on.
I mean, I modded him, so he can just ban you.
But you've also modded me. Don't unmod me, please.
But so, I mean, it was probably, hey, these guys gave us a good offer, and we have a lot of staff down here. It just makes sense because you can have the staff literally commute to the event.
Kind of a perfect storm sort of thing. Just everything works out that way. But then I hear everyone else say that heading to Atlantic City for the Season 7 finals was absolutely abhorrent. Like, it was just terrible.
We don't talk about Atlantic City.
Which is exactly why that meme exists as well. So, I mean, it's not to say that every single city option that has been selected for a major or PL Final LAN event has been phenomenal. Some of them have been great. I've heard nothing but good things about Tokoname. Aside from the visa problems, I've heard nothing but good things about how that Japan final went. So
that's a problem with Japan. It's complicated to get the visas.
Yeah. I've also said it before.
There's a long process. I mean, we've been through the process for the show, because we had a show match during the Tokyo Game Show, right? So we went through the process to get visas and stuff. So
that was
it's complicated.
Yeah, but the Japanese government just absolutely
Japan might very well be
your life.
Like, how Raleigh was probably the last spot I would put on my list. Japan is probably the first. Japan was great
in terms of you wanting to go back. So for you, it would be Japan first, like Croatia second,
something like that.
Yeah, okay.
Like, Japan was just fantastic.
I mean, Japan fucking is addicted to Siege.
Yeah,
they just love it.
Like, I think I don't know who's the biggest community in Rainbow Six, but I think Japanese are the second biggest.
Yeah.
It's something crazy. Like, it's I don't know if it's Brazil's first even. I think Japanese might be bigger than Brazil.
They're like
it's
fucking,
crazy. It's crazy.
Okay, so CAG. There are CAG, Cyclops Athlete Gaming. Those guys are on billboards.
Are they really?
Yeah. Japan is insane, dude. Insane when it comes to Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six is probably the largest shooter on PS4, which makes it the largest shooter in Japan. It's nuts.
And most of the players of Rainbow Six are on PS4 too.
Yeah, it's
like by a pretty wide margin, right?
25 million on PS4, 20 million on PC, and 20 million on Xbox, I think.
It's interesting how PC developed over time, because initially it was like the smallest one by far.
Yeah.
Like, by far.
And then everyone realized you really can't play Rainbow Six athletically looking like Call of Duty, so now you have to play
it's also a better experience on PC, I think.
Oh,
like, you got more freedom about your control and so on. So.
Also, remember that Siege, when it came out, it was Counter-Strike for everybody else. It was basically Counter-Strike on consoles. But for PC players, I got into Siege because I was sitting there going like, I mean, it's a good warm up for CS. It's a good cooldown for CS, right? You go in there, you play a little bomb, and so it's a little hero shootery, and CS go Overwatch, even though that actually exists now. Thanks,
No,
Valorant.
stop.
Right?
We don't talk about Valorant.
Yeah, it's like so the PS4 community is giant. The Siege community in Japan is giant. There are so many Siege orgs in Japan. There are literally there's this thing that Ubisoft does called Ubi Day, and it's pretty much exclusive to, I believe, China, Korea, and Japan, because those regions are fucking huge for Ubisoft games. It's nuts. And because of this language barrier, we don't really recognize just how big those scenes are until you go over and you look at organizations like Father's Best, where there is no one on that Father's Best team that doesn't have 500,000 YouTube subscribers.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
So there might be celebrities over there, but when they come over here for DreamHack, all of a sudden everyone
We
on
don't know
Father's
who the
Back is
fuck
just
they
like,
are.
Yeah, we don't know
we
who
have
they
no
are.
clue.
But Japan's just oh my god, Father's back. Oh my god, the dream team, right? It's nuts.
But Father's Back, I think, is a team that primarily they're content creator, and they decided to play together and form a team.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. You remember
So if we got a whole bunch of really popular meme YouTubers together and had them, form their own organization or something.
No, that happened. That was old Disrupt.
This is what happened, yeah.
That was Skittles.
That was old Disrupt.
Yeah, that was old Disrupt. What was it? It was like Skittles, Bolo.
New Disrupt actually has a team. Let's go. God, the days when I used to be on DG. No longer.
So, I mean, you look at people like, Waka, praise be unto him.
Praise be.
That dude's fucking just absolutely. I mean, Waka was one of the first people to really revolutionize grenading from the bottom floor. I remember when that was a new thing.
Kind of
you would just
trying to have an impact on an attack in a sense, yeah.
Yeah, where you would guess where someone was, you would hurl a grenade, and it would just go off at their feet and kill them.
Right.
I remember this was early 2018, and people were like, what the fuck is that? And now it's, absurdly commonplace, but it's and then there's ANZ Siege, which is, I mean, the WWE of Siege. I don't even know how to fucking describe that scene. It's just absolute anarchy over there.
Yeah, I don't think it's always entertaining to watch, but I honestly think my favorite Siege to watch is either Latin American Siege or Southeast Asia, because watching those APAC qualifiers for the invitational spot that Fnatic would end up winning, and just watching Xavier Esports bring a Finka and look like they didn't know what they were doing to the point that their opponent didn't understand what they were doing was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. You're bum rushing straight in. You don't have a play. You look like you're all playing ranked at silver level, but you're going in and you're winning rounds because you're doing the absolute most unexpected bullcrap under the sun. It was hilarious to watch. I want more of that stuff. I don't know why Thailand get more exposure. I want to watch more of that kind of Siege. It was so fun.
The aggressive team are fun to watch.
Yeah.
I mean that's how we were playing for Vegas and Rally. We were super, super aggressive on both attack and defense. And I think we every LAN event we win, we definitely have one of the top 3 games in terms of cool to watch. So that was always fun.
Oh yeah. No, it was always great watching Team Secret just all 5 of you jump out a fucking window and just go all right, Team Secret's doing it again.
Monkey plays.
Okay, let's just
thought out monkey plays. Manage your risk.
Just they're sitting there going we're gonna practice the ape strat. Just
one of those things you have to practice in private so you can hide it from people in scrims. Just going, they're gonna jump out a window, but which one? Which one is the play on this one map? What do we do?
Which window? All window. Just prep everything.
Which window? Yes.
How many windows? Don't question. Just go.
How are you in
now?
spawn? You're the defender. And it's just fucking Leon's just haha, me go ape.
Gun machine go burr. I don't know. If you had to put a finger on where we might be able to go for a LAN event in the future, now that we don't have ESL on the table.
Well, Vancouver.
Dude, okay, all right. I'd go for Vancouver. I'd go down south to Seattle too. Like anywhere on the Pacific Northwest, I'm so down for it. Like because I love that area.
Honestly, Montreal, not in the middle of the fucking winter. Please.
Shut up.
See, I'm from Denver, so when I go to Montreal, like
just come to Quebec.
I was going with it. No, it was
I love
fine,
watching Latin American players suffer. That's my favorite.
I love. Who is it? Was it?
Holy shit!
Oh my god! So in 2019, I put out like a thing that's like, hey, if you're not prepared for the cold, feel free to DM me. I did a lot of like cold weather survival stuff, and I can help you like create a shopping list. And Twister,
I'm gonna be good with a hoodie, right?
Yeah, and Twister reached out and he's like, hey, I bought a coat. What should I do? And I'm just like, your fucking snot will freeze in your nose. You need to be ready for that.
Dude, coming from the mountains to go to Montreal was phenomenal. Like aside from the whole snot nose thing that I was a little unprepared for, but I got over it pretty quick. But then to see guys like Pi and Gig on Na'Vi, Gig was on Giants, but he shows up from England where he doesn't have to worry about the dry kind of environment that is with this much snow on the ground, and just looking at him going, yeah, he's got scars on his hands now just from going through a shower. Like, he just doesn't know how to deal with this.
My personal favorite moment was fucking Dokie's coat.
I don't remember Dokie's coat.
So Dowie had
what did he have?
It was God, what was it? It was like a trench coat.
It was big.
It was like it was not a Canada Goose. Yeah, it was like a puffy
or was it
trench
a Canada
coat
Goose, maybe?
that was obviously made for a woman, and it went down to like his fucking ankles.
Yeah,
it was just the funny. So he's walking around in this goddamn dress.
The coat was bigger than him.
That's not saying much.
But it was great. It's great. Just like
he didn't get cold.
Yeah, it's great going to bars and seeing Helbee, and we're both in like light coats going, hey man, what's up? And the Australian players come in and they're just like
they're all huddled together.
I'm like, hey, what a nice day. It's only minus 15 today.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting out there going like, it's -10. It's great.
That's not bad.
And I was talking with Impa, Kickstar's partner, and
yeah.
She's just sitting there, just like in her coat, and she's wearing a miniskirt, and she's just like, "Can we go inside?"
All right, hold on. I found pictures of Dowie in a parka. Keep scrolling.
Maybe going to a Siege event where there's actually genuinely human weather, I think would be nice. Something comfortable.
Like just switch it up. Montreal in the summer, rally during the winter.
What? Why would I go to Montreal during... Okay, no, it would be bad. Because I drive to Montreal, and if there's one thing I know for goddamn certain, it's you never go to Montreal during fucking summer.
True, not to drive.
Absolutely not.
What am I missing on that? What's the big...
construction cones everywhere on the street, detours.
The mafia runs the Montreal
street.
construction companies.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Pretty much.
And in the summer, all of the construction work that needs to be done gets done. So
slowly.
If you've ever seen like a bunch of French-Canadian mafiosos repairing a street, it is the most embarrassing looking thing you'll ever see in your life, and that's not... It's like three dudes who obviously don't know how to work a fucking cement mixer, just sitting there, just like, we should be beating up Vinny.
What? Okay.
Right? It's just like, they just take up the street for like 6 hours. Like, driving into Montreal, for me, takes 6 hours during the winter and 8 hours during the summer.
Ouch.
Because it's the same going to Montreal, but once you're in Montreal, traffic stops.
Yeah, it's bad.
All right.
Use public transportation.
Yeah.
Montreal. It's
or
no
fly.
Point having a car.
Or
fly.
Yeah.
No, there should never be an event in London. London sounds like a terrible place to have a major.
Yeah, London is absolutely a terrible city. Even though I have friends there, I would not want to go back to London because of how terrible my experience was.
I don't know why anyone would want to go to London, because they're just like, oi, mate, you want some fish and chips there, love? Ooh. It's gonna rain today. It's rained every day for the past 6,000 years. We're England, yeah. Fuck off.
No, I'm kidding. I love London, but I wish I could go there and like actually do it justice, because I was only there for like a flyover or a layover for like 2 or 3 days on a trip to Morocco, and then 1 day on the way back. So I wasn't able to do it.
Oh yeah,
really
fuck it.
well.
Let's get a siege event in like Morocco or Egypt or something. That sounds
Sure,
great.
yeah, dude. I've been to Fez. I got friends
Never been
there.
there.
I hated Casablanca, but we'll go to Morocco. I'll show you around.
Or
Screw it.
Korea, Australia.
Oh, Korea, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Australia would be a little bit fucked up because they have to travel. Well, most people would have to travel something like 30 hours or so.
I mean, we had to do that for
It's fine.
Yeah. The Australian teams have to travel
Yeah,
like
they do
30
it.
hours.
Mhm.
Could you imagine?
I was talking to Diesel and Dizzle, so one from Wildcard, one from Fnatic, about how they were doing their travel stuff, and I'm just sitting there going, I don't understand how you can stomach that much travel and still come back and compete at a semi-decent level after being that tired from that many flying cylinders. I don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine like a fully unlocked APAC region that doesn't have to do like 17 hours of jet lag?
That'd be great.
It'd be great.
But it's like you combat jet lag by giving them another week in whatever their host country is if they have a really long flight. So if an event is on April the 15th, you fly the team into the US on April like the 2nd and just give them as much time as they need to acclimate to the climate.
I mean, New York would be good, but also as someone
There was talk about like Raleigh being in New York.
It was Raleigh was either like Florida, New York, Boston, or Raleigh, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. Something East Coast.
Holy shit! I'm so glad it wasn't in Florida.
We've been there, but like, I wouldn't mind having another LAN event in Vegas. Vegas was great.
Yeah, Vegas is always good.
It was great. Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything in NA plus the NA finals getting moved there would be sick. So, which I'm assuming everyone will be flown out to LV for the finals for North America in December. I'm assuming it's in Las Vegas, but I could be wrong.
I mean, everyone already lives in Las Vegas. Why would they need to fly out?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right.
No, sorry, for the Challenger League relegations and everything.
Oh, the Challenger League
all
relegations?
of those teams, because that happens there. For relegations from CL into the North American and Canadian divisions, it all happens at the same event now.
Yeah, fair.
Like, I'm trying to think. We haven't had a major in Texas, have we? Like...
Texas? Nope. I don't know.
For some reason,
I don't know that esports is legal in Texas.
The way that my head has been defaulting for the North American major, that we still don't 100% know if it's happening yet, but my thought process has been defaulting to that being the 2026 Austin major, and I don't know why my brain is going to Austin, Texas every time. Like, that's just what makes sense to me. I'm like,
exists?
What?
Why'd you go to Austin when Houston exists?
I mean, I think plenty of my friends can tell you that Houston's way better. But I don't know. That's just like
Tell me, what do you mean true? You don't know anything about Texas. Your brain's completely broke. Like, what the fuck are you talking? What do you know about Texas?
Well, I know it's probably hot. There's more tigers in Texas than there's tigers in the rest of the world, so
I also watched Tiger King, yes.
I did.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm a cultured man.
If we want authentic tigers, we'll just host a major in Thailand. That would be sick, though.
I mean, I think they're doing more majors now, so...
Yeah.
And they're all being run...
Basically, they're getting rid of, like, Pro League finals, and it's just, like, more majors instead. There's also no minors, but,
But we're still looking for 3 big major host cities per year if the Invitational is always in Montreal.
Plus Invitational,
Yeah. So they've got options. My hope is that they don't feel a need to go back and revisit cities that we've already done, and maybe we can kind of like keep on expanding and look for options we haven't done previously.
My hope is that Invitational is not in Montreal every year.
Maybe after the first couple of years it won't be, but
I'm ready to have more of a like TI, like you announce it like super early. It's like, hey, this year is going to be this city. It's going to be great. Instead of like always Montreal during February.
TI was in Seattle for 9 years, and the only reason they moved was because the stadium went under construction.
Was that really the only reason?
Yep.
I'd like the thing is also like it's a bit complicated in Montreal because like if you want to go bigger than like Place Bell, it's probably like Bell Center.
Yeah, it's the Bell Center.
Bell Center is like really busy with hockey during the winter. So
yeah. The issue is that the Bell Center is like literally just where the Canucks play.
Always.
And I would also question, because Place Bell isn't a full-size NHL arena, whether or not we'd be able to do the same thing that we did for Place Bell, which is halve off the stadium itself and just use one half of it for crowd, and if we would still sell out. Or like still be able to like fill the seats, right? Because all the pictures that everyone is seeing from the Invitational 2020 about like the entire stadium being completely chock full of people, that's 100% legit. Like every single seat, I swear, for at least the grand final, when everyone's got their phones out, like every single seat in that arena has a butt in it at some point. But I don't know if you'd be able to say the same thing if we actually took an NHL or an NBA arena or something. So yeah, so the Bell Center, it's where the Canucks play, it's where the Raptors play in the NBA. If you were able to do the same thing and still have every seat have a butt in it, because there's way more seats to contend with at that point, because it would be like, I don't know, 4,000 at Place Bell to 8,000 at the Bell Center sort of idea. So I just don't know if we have do we have the community to do that? I don't know.
Well, it's also like, I guess to me Montreal is also boring because like I live there.
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
3-hour drive. I'm like, there's nothing special about Montreal. Put it somewhere nice. Not Montreal.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, you know what'd be really cool?
What?
There was a TI that was held in a...
Toronto would be nice too.
Yeah, Toronto. Find somewhere with like a huge symphony orchestra hall.
Right.
San Francisco.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
I will never cross the Mississippi again. Don't
I
you
love
ever
San Francisco.
Fuck off.
I love California. That is my home state. I love it.
No.
I love it. I love it. So good.
Absolutely, absolutely not. You cannot make me go to California.
Did you get scarred in California? Do you have a story behind this? What happened to you? Chowder.
What?
Chowder.
No,
what
I
happened?
lived in a desert in Utah.
So you've never been in Cali?
California.
Ever?
No, I've never been to California.
There's a lot of really good things about California. Like, just saying.
Like leaving, yes.
Come on, man. I was going to say that about North Dakota. North Dakota's only good aspect is that you finally get to leave it after a certain amount of time, unless you're trapped in a basement somewhere.
North Dakota has the presidential hydra. Thank you.
That's falling on deaf ears. I don't know what that means.
Mount Rushmore, dipshit.
I don't care for it. No, what? That's South Dakota, I thought.
Is it South Dakota?
I swear it's South Dakota. Yeah, Mount Rushmore is south. North Dakota has legit nothing except a Canadian border.
That's fair.
Like it's one massive Canadian borderline. That's the only good that state has like anything for.
I mean, I don't know. I don't really. No offense to the Dakotas, all 4 people who live there. I don't really think about you guys a lot.
No one lives in the Oklahoma Panhandle. No one lives in the northmostern part of Idaho.
Oh, you know where they should have a siege event?
Where?
The Death Zone.
Where's that?
So there's this legal...
Sounds friendly.
Oh, no. Okay, I remember you. Yeah,
the Zone of Death. Yeah, so there's this legal technicality spot that's in Yellowstone where, because of the way that U.S. law is worded, basically there's this like 30 square mile or 300 square mile strip of Yellowstone. Because Yellowstone is run by, what is it? Wyoming?
I think so, yeah. It's a state park, not a national park.
No, so Yellowstone is run by Montana. It's a national park, but it's basically run by Montana. Okay. But there's a part of Yellowstone in Wyoming where no one lives, and because you have to have a jury of your peers, which is people who live there, and because there's no jurisdiction in that section, technically in the Zone of Death, all crimes are legal.
Nice. Like if you wanted to have an actual PUBG event,
you would have it there.
30 criminals with a whole bunch of guns, you could do it in the Death Zone. Yeah.
Right? My thought is we host a siege event there. Right?
Sponsor friendly.
Keep going. Yeah. Any sponsor is allowed. That's fine.
Right? It's 10 computers. You get tents. If you want to win, you have to win your games. Losing teams, they don't get their tents anymore, right? So They have to make it out of the zone of death.
Oh my god, okay.
Sounds a great idea.
I'm just fantastic, right?
That awkward moment when you realize we're esports competitors and not athletic sport competitors, so some of us might have a hard time.
Oh, that moment when you realize you're glad you're relegated and have no chance at going to that land.
It's like, oh, we got relegated. Why? Oh, well, we heard a rumor that the next LAN would be held in this place called the Zone of Death. And we just kind of
Jesus.
ain't about that.
I'm smelling a really bad movie script or a TV show pilot I could write about an esport event that turns into an actual real-life battle royale if you don't win the whole thing. Like, the team that wins, they're going to be fine. They do nothing but just...
I'm pretty sure that's an anime. I'm pretty sure that's an anime.
Has to be.
Right.
It could be an anime already.
Is that not Sword Art Online?
No, isn't that the one where if you die in the game, you die in real life?
Yeah, but you gotta beat the game. I don't know. It's dumb.
It's fine.
Yeah.
But anime bad. But
anime's terrible.
I'd rather be on the SK roster. Jesus Christ.
Oh boy.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good.
You have a choice. You can compete in the battle royale to the death, or you can be on SK, and everyone's just like, just gonna go fight and die. Then, all right, fair.
Oh no.
Jesus Christ.
I don't very often look at Twitch chat in the middle of a podcast recording, but holy crap, that was good. That was good.
I don't even. Man, there's some dumb shit that's just like.
Who did we have on the podcast when who the heck was it? Era Eternity made a tweet about coming back to see Gregor. I think it was it was Gregor.
Gregor. Yeah.
Of all people to make a mention about them potentially coming back, yeah, I was like, please shut up right now. Just say nothing.
I mean,
it's like you have to know at this point.
Yeah.
No, and I got educated recently through the midst of a Twitter thread about how bad mouse sports apparently was for the scene. About
oh yeah, you were like, let's get. What did you say?
No.
Mouse and who else?
No, hold on. That's not what I said. What I said was I was looking through teams that were German based or organizations that were German based, who would have a realistic possibility of picking up Orgless if it's not a team
GSA.
that like had dropped one recently. Yeah, for GSA. So. And for PL, but as I was looking through it, the two that I found were SK, I think, no, it was SK and it was Mouse, and I had heard things about SK because I haven't been in the scene for nearly as long as some other people.
I also love being paid in t-shirts.
Correct, and that I didn't fully understand what the situation with Mouse was, but the reason why I made the tweet and said. I don't know if I would have a problem with mouse sports coming back. The only reason I said that was because they've progressed in other esports to the point that that's an audience that you can bring over, which is kind of the only thing that I was really looking at it for. It was like, okay, big org comes back to Siege, grabs a roster, notable name, you can get people from, the esports that they already have ties to and see if you can't, bring them back into Siege or over to Siege for the first time kind of idea. But this was also before I knew anything about the way in which they were keeping their players happy, if it was a contract thing, if it was just any number of things behind the scenes. All I heard, I got the very distinct impression afterwards, Mouse would not be welcome back. And there was, I think it might have been Smoothie, it was Smoothie who said, hey, delete the tweet. Like, they did not treat their players well. And I'm like, you know what? I'm being educated. I'm cool with leaving it up there as a testament to me being wrong, because I need to be wrong sometimes to learn like how this stuff worked out. I don't know everything about the scene. I don't know what happened with every org that came in. So if there's an unrealistic possibility of somebody coming back because of really bad prior experience in the scene, then nuke them for all I care. They won't be welcome back, and we won't let them back in.
There was a couple bad apple in early Rainbow Six.
Very early on, yeah. But that was before there were big players that were kind of like changing the way that contracts were structured and players were paid.
Yeah, but it was
For those of you who don't know, mouse sports. The best way to describe mouse sports as an org in Rainbow Six would be like an abusive dad who comes in and steals your pocket change for cigarettes.
Yeah. Jesus.
And then when talk bad about them.
I mean,
beat you
clearly
with a
they got
belt.
in for the pilot program, right?
Yeah, they got in for the pilot
And then
program.
they switch.
They had a skin, yeah, at one point.
They had a skin. They did not feel like they were getting enough money from that skin, so they fucked off. It was just like, are you kidding me?
I have the Mouse Sports Vigil, just the uniform, because it was darker black than the original, like default one. That's the reason I have it.
But that's the only reason I have it. It's not like I have any
There was a
loyalty
couple
to
of
the org.
org. It's like the DZ guy. Like, it's good that they landed on an org that take care of them, because initially they were with Flipside, which was a shit
Holy
show
shit,
as far
yeah.
as I'm
Flipside
concerned.
and then SK and then finally
SK.
DZ. Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank God
So,
DZ
like-
is like a great organization. Like,
So,
holy
like-
shit. Yeah.
These are players getting taken care of now. 'Cause, like, when I wasn't I was on Flipside for a short amount of time as like sub, so I was not like really in contact with the organization, but because back then
Yeah.
it was different. But it was a mess, man. Like you like just asking a question, like, "Hey, can we talk about like something?" It's like 3 weeks later you start getting an answer, like,
Oof.
and I thought like. Even getting paid from like the charm money, it took like, I don't remember the detail, but well over a year.
Yeah.
That was a
because-
problem with the org, not even a problem with like UB or the TO. That was a
Yeah,
problem
so-
with the org
Because
itself.
the org had the money, they were just not paying it.
So the deal
Jesus.
was basically a certain percentage of charms. Like, so
That
you
was the
would
first
buy
pilot
a,
program too.
yeah, you would buy a charm, right? So I have a 2018 Fnatic charm, right? Back then, I believe the terms were, I would buy that charm. What was it? Like 70% would go to Ubi, 30% would go to the team, something like that. I could
Something
be
like
wrong.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
a
think it's a
really
70-30.
disproportionate split. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
But-
UB gets like 70 or something like that, and
Yeah.
then the org gets 30, and like
then
it's split to the players.
out of that 30,
depends.
the players get basically like for every $5 that you spend on esports stuff. This is what it used to be. It's different now. I don't know the numbers
Right,
now.
right.
But back
Well,
then,
yeah.
basically for every like $5 you spend on esports stuff, you're supposed to give 50 cents to the players. Pretty much.
Oh, like a 1 in 50 split kind of thing, almost. Nah.
Yeah,
1 in,
so if I were
1 in
to-
500
if I were to-
split almost.
If I were to buy that 2018 Fnatic charm, basically what I'm doing is taking like a $50 and whipping it at Magnet's head, right? But what eventually happened was these teams would get into the pilot program, and they would go, you know, we can make a lot more money if we just didn't give the players the money.
It's like, it's not like they were really paid either on Flipside, you know, to
Yeah.
begin with. And like back then, Flipside was probably the biggest org in Rainbow Six.
Back in the early 2017 days.
2017, when they were like, when the players were signed under Flipside, it was probably the biggest org.
Yeah,
It's
I
like
mean,
we still had team playing under names like Biggity Boop Bop and like shit like
Hey,
that. So,
don't
you
you
know.
ever insult Biggity Boop Bop again.
I'm not
all right?
insulting, but you know,
Don't you?
it's just like a testament of how it was organization wise.
Yeah.
It's not a bad point. I mean, back then we could talk
Not
about
just having like back then there was no talk about like living off of this game. It was just like, oh my god, I'm signed under Flipside Tactics. Holy shit, that's huge.
That's so cool.
I'm gonna get a fucking keyboard, dude. Maybe.
I mean,
maybe.
but
I'll
also
get-
back then, like 2016, 2017, that was like really wild west for esports.
Oh yeah.
Even back then,
Especially for Rainbow Six.
because I remember I used to watch Heroes of the Storm esports, right?
May it
Back
forever
when-
rest in peace, Heroes of the Storm.
Back when
Fuck you, Blizzard.
fucking rest in peace. Heroes of the
07.
Storm.
Can I get some Chonka 7s in chat, please? Thank you.
Can we get
Here,
some?
I'll-
Can we get some 07s in chat? So, but basically, like there was some crazy shit that happened in that game. Like the best team in NA was bought out by a Dungeons and Dragons playing website.
What?
So it's this website called Roll20, where basically you can like,
Oh, I know this, yeah.
it's basically just a dice rolling website where you can like make grids and put characters down. It's a virtual tabletop, and they had an esports team, right? And so back then, basically anyone could get an esports team because
Okay.
you didn't. I mean, you could pay your player, sure, but also like,
Well, there
What
was
if you-
very few.
what if you
like,
just gave them
games-
T-shirts?
Yeah, there was very few games that were serious about like
Yeah,
what's
it
going
was
on.
it was
It was like
StarCraft,
League of Legends, Dota.
yeah, StarCraft, League, Dota, CS,
Yeah.
and
Right.
that was it. But everyone tried to push for esports back then, and almost no one got it. Like, to the point where people were making fake games with fake esports. Like, I believe Chef Royale has an esports scene as a joke.
Well, isn't there a Farming Simulator?
Farm Simulator was the one I was just thinking
Farming Simulator is run by fucking ESL. That is not a joke. That's actually an ESL spot.
It is. ESL is a TO for that game of all things?
Yes.
What?
Well, ESL's strategy is basically take every game you can, offer a deal, make like
monetize,
make the devs like dream big about like their game could be an esports and grab a contract in which they're getting paid to like develop. Like,
by the way,
after that they take the money and send it to CS:GO anyway. So
to answer your question, why is there a Farming Simulator esports scene? The answer to that is Germany.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Germany is big into like, I'm coming back from work. Let's go work.
Yeah, Germans will come back from like 8-hour shifts working at their
as a trucker just to play Euro Truck Simulator.
Wow, that's why it's that big? Because I know it's a big deal in the EU.
You go to a German video game store, and there's a section for video games, and then there's a wall of simulators.
Yeah.
Like, there are games like Airport Firefighter Simulator, Shopping Simulator, where you play as a stock boy and like stock shelves, right?
Yes.
Like, people are like, really these are joke games. No, this is just Germany. The Germans are crazy. They're just like, we are the most industrious people in the world. I come home from my 6-hour union job where I stock shelves at a grocery cart. What do? I go home and I relax. I play Firefighter Simulator for another 6 hours. It's so calming. Perhaps tomorrow I will play Taxi Simulator, yeah? Yeah, and you're just like, fuck, why? Why? Like,
they're really into living in as many possible realities as they can, because they can only get one paying job in this one thing. Let's go work in this other thing with the other time that we have. Like, jeez, dude.
Yeah,
it's big. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
It's really big in Germany.
I was going to make a joke about Flipside Tactics trying to pick up a Valorant team and becoming the first Valorant scandal when they try to play their players.
They already picked up a Valorant team, didn't they?
They do not.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. Come on.
Oh, yes, I got one tub. I got one tub of G Fuel. Let's go. I think, was it Flipside? I think the guy from Flipside got tubs of G Fuel at some point.
I think so.
They were pretty happy.
Yeah.
They were pretty happy about it. It's like, oh, finally, we got something from Flipside. Aside from just
I love how I mentioned G Fuel and Chowder pulls back up his entire jug of lighter fluid and just chugs a little bit more of it.
Oh. Speaking of Flipside, you know when they made LAN? When Flipside made LAN in Poland, Katowice.
What, that was season 4?
Year 2, season 1 or 2?
That would have been season. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, they didn't have the proper jerseys for that LAN because they didn't send the jersey soon enough.
What were they wearing then?
Well, they had old jersey, but like not all the players had the same jersey because there was a different version of the jersey with not the same sponsor and so on.
Yeah, that was the first time.
Jesus
that would have.
That's the kind of organization they were playing under.
So that would have made Media Day really awkward because they wouldn't have had all something uniform. Just like
it was.
Well, I mean, Liquid sometimes does that, but that's because they have like that deal with Marvel where they just, you can wear like a Captain America jersey or like an Iron Man jersey.
Jenna
like that,
absolutely picked the right team to support. Holy crap!
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, there's other Siege orgs that are getting in now that are pretty good. Like, I knew Space Station from Heroes of the Storm. Because they had a pretty decent Heroes of the Storm team, and then they got their Siege team, and I'm like, this is good. What other, like, orgs
I'm looking for what else.
Hot garbage.
What orgs that are hot garbage?
Aren't. I mean, we could talk for days about orgs that are hot garbage.
Oh, we'd be here for an entire podcast episode just sorting through a list of siege orgs and figuring out which ones suck the most. Like, we could
hey,
do
what's
that.
up? My name is the Pittsburgh Embers. Please don't mix me up with the Philadelphia Knights. Whoa, no.
We could do an entire podcast episode where we just rank the top 10 worst over the course of 2 hours. We should like do like a gimmick episode of one of those at that point. That would be funny as hell.
I mean, it's so the other issue is that there's like 17 esports orgs in Philadelphia or in Pennsylvania for some reason.
Yeah.
And they're all in siege.
It's probably a good tax place.
They're all in siege. I don't know.
I wonder.
I think Secret is in Philadelphia too, so there's probably
you
something tax related there.
No, there's absolutely no way.
I think they're registered there, so it might be.
Oh, they could be registered there, but they could have their HQ someplace else. But maybe, if they register as a company in that state, then they could. Yeah, okay, I see.
So there's probably like some tax related stuff that makes Philadelphia.
Oh, that's absolutely
appealing.
why. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. But I mean,
I might be wrong though, but
yeah. Boston just got their first big siege esports org with Oxygen.
Well,
the only thing we had before that. What?
Big esports org. It's an.
Hey. All right, we don't get a lot, okay?
All I'm saying,
we only have the 4 best teams in sports, okay? Just give us an esports team.
4 best teams. What have the Celtics done the past decade? Nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry. We had Larry Bird. That gives us 100 years of being the fucking best. So why don't you calm your titties?
Yeah, sure. All right. Shut up. Helbee can speak to having an NBA championship in his country sooner than you can in your entire region. So
hey, quick thing, Helbee, how far away from you are Toronto?
7.5 hour.
Yeah, that's right. Shut your fucking mouth, Jacob.
What do you want from me? I have all like 7 or 8 major sports all sitting in one city.
You have all 7 or 8 major sports sitting in
an hour and a half by plane,
arena.
maybe.
One arena sounds terrible. You got to split that stuff up, dude.
Well, okay, so we have the basketball and the hockey arena are the same, and then we have Foxborough with Gillette Stadium.
Right? Yep.
Yeah. And then we have.
I don't remember what your baseball stadium's called.
How can you forget Fenway?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. The Green Monster. That hunk of shit. What do we have? No, yeah, we have everything. But for some reason, our soccer stadium is so way out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere compared to everywhere else. And, like, everything else in like, Coors Field for the Rockies is in downtown. Pepsi Center for NBA and NHL is in downtown. Empower Field for the Broncos is in downtown. Dick's Sporting Goods Park is way the heck out this way. For reasons I don't understand. Not even close. It's like an hour drive from the airport.
It's that way?
I think he's pointing that way.
That way.
I'm pointing at the sun.
That way?
That way.
The sun.
We're all going to go that way.
At some point. This way?
Right up that way. Yeah. Up that way, and then up your butt.
This is hell for the audio listeners. I'm so sorry about that. We are all literally sitting here pointing in different directions, just as a little bit of audio description.
Don't worry. Just remember how confused the audio listeners were when I suddenly said during the entire episode that I was distracted by Stalin. Because Stalin he just appeared on screen. I hate this podcast so much.
I love this podcast so much.
I hate it and I love it
it's
because
fun.
I got to do all the back end work for it, and my PC is basically useless for 6 hours until it finishes rendering all the shit.
Yeah, I do all the front end work. I have the easy job. I just get the guests and stream it.
I show up and try to look cute. I got the easiest job.
You do a really good job
at that, cute, honey. You're doing great. You're doing fantastic.
Let me go get the leggings.
Jesus.
Put the rating on.
Just remember what those leggings were like in Raleigh, son. And remember the hellscape that it was.
Well, it was Vegas.
It was Vegas, yeah.
Oh, Vegas was like 110, wasn't it? Like 110 Fahrenheit. That has to be terrible.
Yeah. Huh? Well, there's not a lot of space for what's down there. We'll leave it at that.
Nice. I don't have a segue out of this leggings bit. I don't know what to say anymore.
How do we segue out of Helbee's dick?
I don't know. We could just end the podcast right there and just have the last.
I'd rather not. That sounds like. You know, I don't want to end on a short segment, so I don't know, like...
Oof, okay. Okay, Jesus.
Wow.
Dude, you can't do that, man. You can't do that. We're not even making a magnet joke. You can't talk about short stuff.
Wow.
That's not legal.
All right. You know, I'll let it pass. I'll let it pass.
At least like this time. The next time, I will bring my construction worker friends and we will cement you into the ground. Oh, he's got them on, doesn't he? Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, thank God. Oh, no, wait. You were about to just show us your penis. All right.
Do you have a button on your Stream Deck that just turns the entire screen black? Please.
I don't have a Stream Deck. I just has this thing that makes funny noises like that. And
I have no idea if that's actually going to show up.
By the way,
in the
I've
recording.
been sparing you from going like, what the is this, right? So it's...
I mean, you have. You don't abuse it like Stokes does, because when Stokes does it on stream, sometimes it is just like 3 or 4 or 5 or 7 of them in a row, and I'm like, just kill me now.
I mean, it's great, though, because I can, like, you know, record myself saying things, and then I can just record myself saying things, and it's fantastic, right?
Yeah.
I need to get me some soundboard stuff at some point. That'd be great. Just for
this shit's great.
Just for the sake of having it, just to crack my own self up, I would do it all the time.
Like honestly, I paid way too much for this. Nobody needs this. I have a Go XLR. For those of you who don't know,
it's really, really good, man.
It is $400, and you can pretty much do everything on it with like $200 worth of equipment. But this UI is great, and also I can just press buttons and record sound. So now I can just press buttons and record sound, and it's great.
And this joke immediately got old after the second time I did it. Nice.
Wow, thanks.
Anyway, I guess I'm trying to think about anything else we could probably go over for right now. The thing that
there's not a lot going on with Rainbow Six.
Well, I know that's the thing that I've hated about doing
like,
these past couple of episodes has been we're in limbo waiting for something else to get announced to the point that we can talk about it.
Well, right now the only thing we got is an announcement of a potential announcement that's coming in like 2 weeks. Like,
exactly.
thanks.
Yeah. Like we have somebody that's going to come on in 2 weeks.
Did we discuss G2 playing in the German land? G2 is playing in the German land. How fast do you think they're going to win that thing?
Rogue is also in the German land, so I would assume it's probably going to be a
if Rogue, then it's Rogue, G2, Orgless, and then other teams exist.
It's probably going to be one of the most competitive.
That's going to be like the
regional
most,
stuff.
Yeah, GSA is going to be like. Well,
There's
GSA is always
that
packed.
I thought I recognized.
Yeah,
Wait.
GSA has always been super competitive, right?
Yeah. Oh, never mind. No, I don't know anybody.
Not always super, but like right now it's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's like aside from that, it's probably going to be the French League. So it's going to be French and German, probably the top contenders.
I just pulled up the page on Wikipedia for GSA, and I'm like, yep, there's G2, yep, there's Orgless, yep, there's Rogue. All 5 other teams I don't recognize, so I'm betting the 4th place team for this league will be the one where one of their players has an actual functioning Wikipedia page. So Division will come in 4th place because that's the only other team that has anyone with a blue link and not a red link.
What are the other teams?
MY Insanity, War Kids, Trash Without an A, Turtle Esports, and Division.
Wait, War Kids got back into GSA?
War Kids, the one with the seahorse logo?
No, War Kids, the one where one of their players walked over to another player at a LAN and fucking slugged him.
Jesus.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
War Kids got back?
Oh, God.
Do you remember the name of the player? Who do they have? Froxy, Tubi, Damon, Serif, and Minimi. None of them ring the single simplest of bells for my non-German self, so...
I'm not super aware. I missed that episode where someone slugged someone else. Holy...
Does anybody in Twitch chat right now have any inkling about what he's talking about?
Alpenfestung. Apologies. Yes, it was Alpenfestung. Yes,
how do Alpenfestung and War Kids sound even remotely similar?
I don't remember. All I remember is there was a fucking German team where one of the dudes just absolutely got in a fist fight on a fucking LAN, and it was the funniest shit.
That's the whole thing with the EU region. It's like we have all these like regional regional league announced, but like we don't know how they feed within one another, and like a team in regional land get to play against other teams in like the whole Europe. And now how the fuck does it link with like Pro League? Like why the fuck do teams fought for Pro League spot? Like there's so many missing information right now.
I mean, we know. Is GSA run by ESL still?
No clue.
GSA is not. GSA is run by Ubisoft and OPL.
Okay.
ESL is no longer involved.
I'm not. I don't know.
This is one of those things that I'm still waiting on, just from a point scoring perspective, because even with the North American announcement, we didn't get specifics on how points are dished out from a national perspective versus like if you go and compete anywhere else. So I'm waiting for Europe, like their announcement to come in like a week and a half, and we have a guest on that we can actually like talk about it more so we can get their opinions on it, because there's so much complexity in terms of how they like it's GSA, it's Germany, Switzerland, and Austria in the same league, whereas we'll just have individual ones for, you know, bigger countries. So I mean French league will be its own thing. Russian Major League will still be a thing.
We'll probably see Penta, Vitality, Easy Dream, and
yeah,
it's going to be the major team there.
BDS
some
probably
other, like Grisy.
Yep.
Grisy.
Is Prem still happening?
Probably, yeah.
That would be a
because
question
that was
for Leon,
ESL.
but
I think it is.
Yo, Leon, is Prem still happening?
Leon.
Well, the like the two big team that were in like there are done. So like, it's going to be Navi and someone else.
Can Navi even compete in Prem anymore because of the players they have on that team? They only have two British players.
Well, like, that's also the thing, right?
Oh, even Secret 3-5 rule isn't a thing anymore.
Even Secret, like we were wondering, like, where the fuck would we play if we were still a team? Because we had 2 Finns, 2 Brits, and like one I forgot Blaz, Hungary.
Wow.
So
cool. Very cool to forget your fucking your player's country.
Bruh.
I can see why you're no longer their coach, Helbee.
Oh! I always forget. Like, cause I always thought it was German, but that's why I messed up and I need to look for it because I default to German.
Remember, he's not German. He's just, hungry. So maybe you should feed him a sandwich or something.
Okay.
Good joke. I'll give you that one.
But like, how is it going to work? Do you just get to choose where you want to be?
Well, the reason why G2 can compete in a league
for
Germans, Swedes, and Austrians without a single player from either of like any of those countries is because they're based in Berlin now. Like the whole team is in Berlin. Like they have residency. So they can do it. Rogue automatically qualifies just off player nationality. But this does kind of beg the question, doesn't it? It's like, well, if you're going to be doing or opening up more leagues for competition for, like, a multi-country thing, like if we were to see a GSA, but it's like all of Finland, Sweden, and Norway kind of thing, like all of them will have like their own thing. We'll call it, what's their region called again? Like the whole Scandinavian league. Like we can do the same thing
Nordic.
with them. Nordic. No. Wait.
Yep. It's King of Nordic.
But Chaos isn't. Is Chaos in Nordic?
Yes.
Probably.
I haven't followed Nordic.
Well, as far as I know, only the GSA has been announced, right?
Chaos is 4 Swedes and a Finn.
Right, so they qualify automatically.
Yeah.
I'm out of the loop on
Okay. All right. So, chat is going ballistic because
for some reason I said something wrong. Oh boy, what do I do now?
No.
I spitballed at the wrong thing. Shut up.
Helbee, Flunkers wants you to talk about blackmail.
Oh, well, it's what happened with it was not an easy way for us to get out of the Prem.
You did bail, yeah.
Yeah, because we ended up leaving the Prem, right, when Farrell left.
Right.
That was a news that came out of nowhere. Like, we were 2 games in from the Prem. And then Farrell was like, yeah, I cannot keep going. I will step down. So that puts us in a hard situation where we no longer respect the 3-5 rule of British to like play in the league. The Challenger League season is coming. We need to replace someone. We need to put him up to pace because like fucking Prem doesn't fucking matter. It's like pocket change even if you win it. So
Yeah.
like the real prize is going to get for Pro League. So we need to, you know, work someone up to pace, try to get our strat, try to get a cohesion, and just, you know, focus on Challenger League. So we were like, hey, Prem, we will have to step down. And we didn't necessarily want to, like, put them aware of, like, yeah, Farrell is having some problems that he needs to deal with. And, like, they didn't need to know. So they just need to know, like, we're going to, like, get out. It's like, all right, sure, I'm going to check with, like, the boss, but it should be all right, and so on. So that leaves there. And a couple of days later, I get an email from Ubisoft Europe, and it's like full blast, like, you can't leave. If you leave, we're threatening you to, like, you're probably, like, you will be disqualified from the league, and because you left the Prem, you will be disqualified for upcoming seasons, so you won't be able to play in the Prem, and you won't be able to play in other, like, regional stuff, which is like part of like the Pro League stuff that we don't really know about, but we're like, so you won't be able to be in the pilot program and so on. So we're like, are you kidding me? Like in the whole tone of the email was like, stay in the league. This is us trying to blackmail you. That was the tone, and how I read it, and like we really didn't like it. So that was fucked up.
Sounds like
I just read the rule book and be like, yeah, well, there's nothing about it in your rule book, so fuck you, and we just left.
Yeah.
Huh.
So but like that was weird. That was really weird interaction there, because like ESL was like, all right, it's fine, like we understand it sucks, but like, you know, you need to put the focus on Pro League, and like we want to put a focus on Pro League because we need to qualify the Pro League to get in the pilot program. Right. And then I've got some like people working for Ubisoft EU that's come back to me and is like, no, if you don't stay in the league, we're gonna like DQ you from like the like we're gonna make sure you don't get in the pilot program. Like what the fuck?
That's a pretty nice underhanded way of saying
that was a weird interaction.
Yeah.
So like I'm not sure if it was just like ill intended or there was a miscommunication somewhere or what. Just glad it got sorted out, and at the end of the day, like. It didn't end up like matter. It didn't matter at the end because like the season, like we just disqualified and we didn't manage to get in Pro League, so that was fine. But
yeah,
it was just like it was really weird interaction, and like the whole tone of the email, it was like it really sounds like blackmail. So you might want to check your tone if this is not what you want to say. So like secret, like we just got on the case. It was like, yeah, well, you know, we need to focus on Pro League, because if we keep going in Prem is like 2 times a week, 2 games a week, which is 2 games we don't get to scrim properly because you play a game, and then you don't get to practice properly for Challenger League, which diminishes your chance to get into Pro League, which diminishes your chance to get into the pilot program. So it was like just like a fucking like it was fucked up situation that we had to
I don't blame
like,
you for taking that route
quickly.
either. Like that's absolutely the thing that you should do when you know PL
so,
spot
like,
is on the line. It's not expected.
So that was the route we
say.
Then we choose to go to that route, and like we just get an email saying like, yeah, we'll just get you out of the pilot program if you go there. So that was really weird interaction, and I think Secret ended up like dealing with this in like the later emails, but basically it was just like in the rule book there was nothing for them that they could like just DQ us from future like other regional stuff, because there's a rule in the French league, right, that if you play in the French league you cannot play in other regional stuff. So I'm assuming maybe someone like understood the rule from the French league rule book and came back with it in the Prem, but it was not actually written in the Prem. So like maybe there's some mix up, maybe like people are aware of what the regional stuff is going to look in the future, but it's not actually in the rule book right now. So I'm just assuming, knowing Ubisoft, it was probably a miscommunication somewhere.
Yeah,
that's
probably.
fair.
And like, but like the whole tone of the email, and I could probably show you, you'd be like, what the fuck? Like it was like it was super aggressive, like we're gonna fuck you if you don't stay. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's a regional tournament that doesn't matter.
At least let me put my leggings on first. Shit.
Right. Right. But it was super, like a very weird interaction, but like it just got sorted out, and We talked to UB. We talked to UB or Europe. We talked to UB Montreal, and it ended up being fine. So I just think it might have been miscommunication somewhere in the line.
Oh, by the way, your team is roasting you for your accent. By the way,
I know. They always do.
Just as a heads up, for those of you who
because I don't pronounce the H, right.
For those of you who are watching
it's
the
silent
VOD,
in French,
right? So currently, what is it? Funkers is saying arms and email.
Arms.
Apple.
It's because the problem is like in French we don't pronounce the H. Apple.
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 Yeah. It's because I've never pronounced the H, so I don't have the
Hounds. Hotel.
My arms.
Hotel. Your hotel. The hotel was very cold.
So I was dramatically. That was my life for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Oh yeah, no, just constantly getting bullied by like Leon and Fonkers and stuff. Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
Of any players to get constantly bullied by, that doesn't seem like too bad of a group. At least you didn't have an IGL in the room like Fabian, who would legitimately bully you for doing some bad shit stuff in a scrim. Like, be happy you got off light with these kids. Sorry, you're not kids. You're like 3 years older than me. Sorry, Leon. I shouldn't insult you that way.
Maybe it's the
Leon is a large adult child, and you will reference him as such. Right.
I thought that was shattered, but okay.
Do not insult the man with the babiest face in Siege, okay? You will not. That is unacceptable. Okay?
But I think it's maybe because I kind of killed my thick French and a Canadian accent early on when I started to learn to speak English.
Yeah.
So I think the H comes naturally just to hide it, because otherwise English is more it's a little bit more rough like that when usually when the French Canadian talk it's something more like that. So maybe I would not have the arms.
I mean, I wouldn't know. Usually when French Canadians start talking, my ears just shut off. It's a special thing Bostonians do.
I hate it. I fucking hate it. I just can't. So that's probably why I killed it early on, unconsciously.
No. Absolutely. Yeah,
there was somebody who, when I got recognized in a Rainbow Six Pro League stream at one point, and there was someone who adds me in the Twitch chat and goes, "Hey, I just want to let you know, I'm from Brazil. I'm using your videos to help me learn English." And I'm just going,
that's a mistake. Why would you use CaliberJacob
oh my god, I am
English?
teaching these poor Brazilians the wrong way to speak this freaking language, which I also hate because of how difficult it is to speak sometimes. I'm like, no!
I mean, look, it could be worse.
I'm sorry!
He could be using some British guy to learn English.
Demo
could you imagine some Brazilian? Could you imagine some Brazilian guy coming up to you and going, "Hello, mate, I'm a huge fan," and you're just sitting there like, "What the fuck is this?"
You listen to someone who has a really I don't know, a Brooklyn accent, and then you hear someone else speak with the thickest Scottish you've ever heard in your life. It's not even remotely the same.
I've been learning English from Dowie. How are you doing?
Yes. I love
Where are you
all
from?
the
I'm from Sao Paulo, can't you tell?
Permanently suspended for toxic behavior? That's the one line I was going to say. My game crashed. I'm so excited. Woohoo! Hey, man, there's plenty of really good Dokie quotes.
Oh, there's that account, No Context Dokie.
Yes. God, that was a perfect idea.
Helbee?
No, I didn't know that thing existed.
It's just literally videos of Dokie just going like when he gets flashbanged. It's so good.
Get off me!
Oh no!
Clip it!
Clip it!
The one thing I'm really mad that I didn't get to do, and I think we can end on this because this is the dumbest story that I'll ever tell.
All right.
I was at a bar. I was very drunk. Helbee was at that bar too.
And that's the end of the podcast, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to episode. Sorry.
So I found Dokie, right? And I found Dokie
in his oversized coat,
in his giant coat. You could tell because he looked like a child, and he was constantly being carded. So I found Dokie, right? and I'm very drunk, right? I had stolen a bunch of rum punches from people and just chugged the shit out of them. I was absolutely demolished on rum and Scottish whiskey.
One could say you were hammered.
Yes. And so I walk up to Dowie, and this is my first in-person interaction with him. I go, "Hey, Dowie, I'm Chowder." And he goes, "Oh, hi." And I look him dead in the eyes, and I just go, "Dowie, if I found a big enough coat, could I put you on top of Magnet and pretend that you're a real human being?"
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Do the trench coat, kids.
Oh, it's so good, man. It's such a good joke.
And Dowie said yes. And Magnet, I approached him the day after. He said yes. And the only reason it didn't happen was because I couldn't find a big enough coat. So
you're saying you didn't just use Dokie's coat?
No, because Magnet just would have, like, most of him would have spilled out. So I need to find... we could have used Leon's. I need to find a comically large coat so I can get Dowie and Magnet to be like Vincent Adult Man and just walk around like...
You put the two of them on top of one another and it still wouldn't make a person that's tall enough as me.
Like, just walk around, like, just with, like, a camera crew and go, "Look! A fully sized adult. What do you think of this?" Just like...
More after the break.
God, who's the tallest person in the Siege scene? It's not me. I'm only like 6'4".
There's someone who's like 1 billion feet tall.
Brycer's about the same height as me, so I would put him in the same category, but I'm trying to think of the tallest straight up. We know who the shortest is.
Honestly, I'm just happy I'm not King George or Dowie size. I thought I was small, but, you know.
You meet King George in real life for the first time,
I'm
you
not
go,
King
"You're
George or
that
Dowie
tiny?"
size.
Yeah.
I met King George for the first time, and he's a great guy. Nothing but nice things to say about King George. I did not actually expect him to be as short as everyone said he was.
Yeah, exactly. I was at the hotel. We were gonna head over from the hotel to Le Scratch, and I was waiting for Intero, and he comes down. He's like, "Hey, I'm gonna talk to Ammunition for a quick second. Go bug King George." And I'm like, I'm a nobody at a place where they should be able to, like, just chill with friends. Go bug King George. I'm like, okay, fine. So I go over.
It's
He's
not
talking.
hard. Look, I made my name by punching well above my weight.
I know. But I walk over and he's talking to Adam, because who the hell else would King George be hanging out with at a LAN event? Of course it's going to be Adam. So I walk over and I'm just like, "Hey, George, I don't want to bug you. I'm a big fan. I wanted to come over and say hi real quick." And he's like, "Oh, cool." And then he recognizes me as a guy who put up a video about why G2 didn't deserve their invitational spot 5 minutes before he had a video with the exact opposite title. So
nice.
My video and his on that day on Twitter it was nothing but comparisons between my opinion and his opinion, but mine was G2 don't deserve the invite spot. 5 minutes later, here's why G2 deserved the invite spot. Secret 100% should have got it. You kidding me? I was rooting for Secret the whole way.
Unbiased opinion.
Secret
should have gotten it.
Unbiased opinion.
Playing.
Honestly, unbiased opinion.
I mean, I'm not on Secret. It's unbiased.
Yeah. Yeah, Helbee's not on Secret. You can't. Yeah. No. Leon's not on Secret. He says Secret deserved it.
Don't stand up right now. Do not stand up, whatever you do.
So, Helbee, I need you to put, like, one hand here and then, like, one... No, Helbee, it's on the back of your chair, too,
No, what are you doing?
I know.
How do we hide all the secret shit in Helbee's...
Quick, while we find a way to burn all of his previous connections to an organization he no longer represents, we might as well just kill the podcast there.
Yeah.
Still need to say
he doesn't run into legal trouble and has to duck every time Secret's name is mentioned.
We forgot to make up a sponsor for this stream. What's this stream sponsored by?
Oh, this stream is brought to you by not Flipside Tactics.
Oh, this stream is brought to you by G Fuel. Snort it, you coward.
All right, Helbee, thanks for coming on the podcast. Anything that you would like to, you want to plug anything you'd like to just shout out briefly, Twitter account, Twitch, something that you did in your basement at 3 a.m. a couple nights ago, anything. If you want to shout anything out, the floor is yours.
The floor is yours.
Well, you can always follow me on Twitter. I think it's LBR6 now, because I had to change it because we were obligated by Secret to have Secret in it. But so right now it's
your gosh darn Twitter handle to have Secret.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's that one girl on Twitter that has the clean LB 1L. One day I'm gonna get it. One day I'm gonna get it. Ellen Butt, I'm coming.
You know her full name.
I literally
I mean,
had a
it's on
DM
Twitter.
conversation with Chowder the
Twitter.
other day, like at Chowder. I was like, "Hey, what do I got to do to get that account?" And he goes, "Nothing. It's mine." And I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, shit.
Nice. I've had.
But yeah,
I've,
so you
I
can
have
follow me there
DM
and
Yeah, go ahead.
Twitch.tv/Helbee. Thank you.
But you have the clean Helbee on Twitch, but not the clean Helbee
yeah,
on
I
Twitter.
do. See, I'm just gonna say hi here. Hi.
Hey, there he is.
I got a clean LB there, so that's the only place I got it.
Clean
And
Helbee
you're-
and partnered, so it looks
and
even
you're verified. Yeah.
spiffier.
Thank you,
so cool.
Enix. No one's gonna remember that, but I got
Who's
it from
Enix?
Enix.
I was gonna say that was a verified account that came from there. Like you didn't even hit Twitch partner requirement, but they just gave you the verification anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
esports
that's-
That was my I wasn't paid in money. I was paid in Twitch partnership. So you know.
You were paid in clout,
all right.
or the hope for more clout.
Anyway, Helbee is a Gears Tactics streamer who streams daily.
Oh,
Sometimes he plays Warzone and Civ.
he will be the winner of the first ever Gears Tactics Invitational. That's the end of the podcast, by the way, everybody. I don't have a segue out of this darn
Has to
joke.
be.
Yeah, we don't have a segue out of Gears Tactics. Bye.
Bye.